Definitely something our council wants to support as well. We're not quite as well funded as Canyon City, so we don't have quite as much money to put toward it. But we definitely are looking at working in conjunction with our arts council and getting some things done. We also, we're really fortunate with the arts council that we have. They're just finishing up getting their 501c3 status, and that's a big help. But we've also got a grassroots group in here that's a lot of the arts council folks, but also other people throughout the community who are doing a great job volunteering throughout the community, cleaning up. If somebody needs their lot to be cleaned up or their property, these folks volunteer there, working to help bring in, well, for example, the Americana Festival that's going to happen here in August, early August. I think it's August 3rd through 5th. This is just a huge opportunity for our community. It'll be great for our downtown businesses and great for the community as a whole. Got an opportunity for people to come in, listen to some good bluegrass music, and it's just going to be a fun thing. So, there are a lot of those kinds of things happening, and our council definitely supports it and embraces it. We don't quite have the money that Canyon City has to buy the public art yet like they do, but we're working on it. We're working toward those goals. My wife Casey and I got married about 10 months ago, and we decided that I had been in out of city management and was doing consulting and really wanted back in, and I made more money in consulting, but money's not everything. And she said, hey, why don't we look at where you want to, let's get back into city management, doing what you love, and let's look at some places you'd be interested in. So we started looking around, and Colorado was a state I was very interested in. Saw the Florence job, applied for it, and interviewed, and they hired me. So I'm really happy to be here. We were definitely right about Colorado being a state that we wanted to go to. It's been a great experience, although I will admit it's way warmer here than I expected. I got studded tires before moving because I thought, I would need them in Colorado. I never needed them in Oregon, but I didn't really need them here either. But it's been a great, experience, and really enjoying it. Just absolutely enjoy this community. I've met some great people, and Colorado water law is a lot different than I'm used to from Oregon and Washington, but it's been a really valuable experience, and it's my intent to, as long as the council will have me, stay here for quite some time, because I really enjoy this place.
So what do you mean about water law being a little different? Have you run into some issues with the Arkansas flowing through town?
A little bit, yeah. The water rights, the way that water rights are not so much the way that they're assigned, but the way that they are. You just have to be much more vigilant in the protection of your water rights under Colorado water law than necessarily in Oregon and Washington.
You mean as a city or as an individual?
As a city. I mean, on the individual side, I think it's a little more cut and dried. But as a city, you constantly have to be looking and protecting, and a lot of time and energy goes into the protection of the water rights. And Florence has very senior water rights, really the oldest major water right on the Arkansas River, at least in the state of Colorado. And it's something that we have to be very vigilant on. It's a strange dynamic, because I'm used to a dynamic where there aren't really divisive issues between communities in Oregon and Washington. They, for the most part, the way one city views something is usually the way other cities view it. Now, they might compete for new businesses and that kind of stuff, but basically they kind of view things all the same. But here, even though on the one hand we may agree with Canyon City and Pueblo and Colorado Springs on a lot of things, we constantly have to be vigilant to protect our water rights. And it's a very different dynamic, and it creates a little bit different relationship than I've seen in other communities. But I'm learning it, and it's not a negative. It's just a different way of doing things. Our water rights are senior enough that the Arkansas would have to be completely dried up for us to really be in trouble, but it could potentially be a problem for a lot of other communities around here. And the biggest thing for us is being vigilant, watching, protecting those rights, but then also there's a lot more to it than just protecting them from other users. It's also making sure that you're doing the right things in terms of groundwater intrusion and other pollutants that could get into the water and cause problems. And it's a very interesting system, and I'm used to also being in a system where it all comes from wells, and that's a little more cut and dry than river water. So just lots for me to learn, and it's been a great experience.
Recently, the Fremont County Commissioners approved the Over the River project. How do you personally, or how does the city feel about that?
The city council declined to take a position on it. I think the unofficial statements from council members was basically, hey, they see some real positives in terms of what it will do for the economy, but they didn't take an official position on it. Me personally, I'm excited about it because I think that we, for our community, we need something like that to really help create some buzz and some interest. I was glad, and I know a lot of people don't agree with this, but I was glad they put it back one more year because it gives Florence an opportunity to really be in position to take advantage of it more. And that's our intent, that we look at something like that, and whether people liked it or not, it appears now that it's probably coming. And we want to do everything we can to help our citizens and our businesses benefit from it to the maximum extent.
Another big local issue that's been ongoing for a long time, kind of coming to the forefront again, is the issue of the Cotter uranium mine, which is just upstream from Florence, and also the Tallahassee mine potentially opening even further upriver. How does the city of Florence feel about all this, and do they plan on being involved with the kind of reformation of the CAG there in Canyon?
We will definitely be involved. We'll monitor it. We'll be involved in it. It again, going back to the water issue, it potentially impacts our water, and I think ultimately it probably definitely impacts our water. So we want to watch it carefully and be involved. We don't have an official council position. It's something that we will be talking about in the coming months. But basically, the direction from the council is watch it closely, get us as much information as we can, and be and then we will weigh in at in the future. But we're definitely going to be involved in that. And